That's
I'll just go downstairs and pack up all my stuff.
Yes, that sounds great.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, well, let's do that for the master, and then what do you have for a...
Well, I have this, but it's like...
Wait, do you like this?
Like a...
The first time I met Rachel, I was an usher at a wedding, and it was the best job because you get to meet everybody, right?
And I had come to the wedding with a bunch of friends from Athletes in Action, and I was the first of all of them there. A couple of them were in the wedding party, so I didn't really get to see them, but I had shown up.
Naturally, I was definitely looking for somebody, and she came right through that door, and she was just beaming, just full of life, this big smile, and yeah, it was amazing.
I was kind of in a frantic because I was looking for a washroom because they were in Cochrane, and I had met him, and he was like, I saw him, and he was just like, hey, I'm Marty. I'm like, okay, like, great, like, good on you. I don't really care. I'm just looking for the washroom.
So I directed her. When she came back, though, I made sure to get her name. I had to know who that was. I said to my no, I wasn't. Yeah, usher. No, greeter. Usher. I guess in that case, same thing. Yeah. To my co-greeter, co-usher, I was like, I have to find out what her name is, and I need to see if I can even get her phone number, but that's probably a stretch. So
I went to go to the washroom, and then I came back, and we were just chatting because none of my friends were at the wedding yet, and he was like, oh, like, who are you waiting for? And I advised him, like, I'm here with a bunch of Athletes in Action friends, but also Tara, who's in the wedding party, was coming with her little baby, and me, as a friend of hers, wanted to ensure that I saved her a spot.
That was the first time I ever saw her, and then I introduced myself, and she introduced herself, and then I took her down to the wedding to sit down, and I tried to, you know, play it cool and just keep cash. And
that was kind of the first meeting. And I also remember, and he'll acknowledge it, I actually thought Marty was really annoying the first time I met him.
But that's okay. I suppose it's the price you pay for what you want to get.
Another friend of ours, Colin, he was the best man for Azzy's wedding. He had just started dating this girl, Nadia, at that time. So Nadia was a school teacher, and Tara and I were, after the ceremony, were trying to get to know Nadia. And then Marty I thought he either knew Nadia or something, because he just basically intruded in on our conversation. And Tara and I were just like, we're trying to get to know this girl, and this guy just won't stop talking or asking us questions.
I didn't realize this. I actually thought they were all friends. I just started talking with them all. And one of them was a teacher, so conveniently I could start talking about teaching stuff.
And I think we eventually just like split, but I'm like, who was this guy? I'm like, this guy's just like, we don't know him, and he didn't stop talking. I'm like, so.
Eventually, you know, everybody moved back upstairs for dinner, and I kind of got separated from the group, and then I was always just kind of like trying to find some moments to be able to talk, and there wasn't very many, but I did catch one opportunity to kind of chat with her a little bit, but again, it didn't last very long, and then soon the night was over, and I didn't even get a chance to really lay any foundation there.
Unfortunately, because our table actually got taken away as part of the dance, I didn't stick around for the dance portion, but rumor is, and he'll say this, he was looking to dance with me later on, but I had already left.
Fortunately, thanks to Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, the following day there was a picture that was posted online, and she was in it with the bride and groom from the wedding, and I immediately friend requested, and that's kind of where everything started.
We actually ended up meeting again about a week later. That September, I spent a lot of time traveling, doing a couple different bike tours for fundraisers, and I had found out that he lived in Nashville, and he was a professional musician down there, and everyone can attest, I absolutely love country, and going to Nashville is one of my dream goals. So I had been messaging him, and then I was randomly going to be biking through Canmore for part of one of these fundraisers. I'm like, oh, it'd be great. I'm trying to get to Nashville in the next few years. If I can pick your brain on anything related to Nashville, it'd be awesome. So he had agreed to meet up with me. We had agreed we were going for beers and dinner. So we went to Grizzly Paw for dinner. I waited for him. He was a little bit late, which I gave him the first time. I hate when people are late, but like I was like, you gotta give everyone one chance. But the weird part about that night is he had agreed that we were going for beers, and he didn't have any beers with me. So I was drinking by myself and having dinner. I found out later on he was just abstaining from drinking for a few months. But it was like, this was just like the weirdest situation. And within like 10 minutes of sitting there, he's like, oh, I hate country music. I know nothing about country music in Nashville. I'm like, you came out here, you knew I was looking for information about country, and Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, and you have none of the information that I'm actually looking for. So we ended up going for a walk and just had a great conversation, just open conversation about a variety of topics. But I still distinctly remember being like, this guy has come all the way to Canmore, and his information to me is useless.
So for the first, we met up a couple times, and after the second time, I took some time to, at the end of what I thought was a date, I wasn't sure if it was a date, to just say, okay, is this something that, are you interested in me? And she expressed that she was. We were both a little bit hesitant about doing anything about it just because of the distance.
He was in Calgary, I was in Edmonton. Both of us had established careers, friends, life in either cities, and it was a big contention, and neither of us at that point really wanted to kind of leave or uproot our own lives to kind of commit to the other one. We
talked a little bit about that, and she said she'd be interested in trying it out. So we were both committed to that. We decided our first date would be Thanksgiving. We went hiking up a mountain outside of Bragg Creek, and it was totally overcast and started snowing. It was absolutely disastrous in one respect in terms of nature, but it was interesting because I noticed during that time how that didn't matter to her. She was able to still have a good time. That was a really important thing to me.
And then when I was in Europe with Christina that year, I came to the realization that everything that I loved about being in Edmonton and Leduc, whether it was work or my coworkers and CrossFit, was all stuff that I could actually reroute and establish in Calgary. And all those connections that I've had in Edmonton and Leduc, I wouldn't necessarily lose them just for moving to Calgary, because if they're true friends, you are intentional about keeping up to them.
So, Rachel returns from Europe. I've spent a couple weeks, and I basically realized that neither of us should move. And so she arrives. Saturday morning we have a conversation, and in that conversation she spoke first and said, I'm ready to go for it. Like, I'm ready to give it a shot.
I told him this on the phone, and then literally that same phone conversation, he's like, nope, in my mind, I went through all the situations the last few weeks, it's not gonna work. And it was just like, it was like a heart-wrenching, like, okay, like, I'm ready to move forward on this relationship. And now he's saying, red flag, not happening.
The next morning, I get up. I stopped checking my phone or anything because I just kind of didn't want to have any interaction with her or just people in general. I was processing all this and trying to deal with it, make sure it was the right choice. Mm-hmm. By that evening, I looked at my phone. I finally looked and I see there was a message that she had sent at 5:30 in the morning or something, and it was like this full-on huge message about how she felt, like about what was really going on in her mind. And she really showed me for the first time what was really happening in her heart.
And kind of from there, he kind of rethought, and kind of discussing with his friends, he decided like he made the wrong move. So we got back together, and then it's been smooth sailing ever since then. But the thing about Marty and I, ever since like even the first day, is our conversations have been very fluid and open, and even from that beginning, even when we weren't dating through those few months, we were able to talk about any conversation, whether it's religion, work, family, careers, and it was neat to have someone. Obviously, Christina is one of my best friends, and so is Marlon and Tara, and I can talk to them about a lot of things, but it was really neat to have someone that was new in my life, but I could still have those deep and open conversations with.
Rachel, she is like a ball of energy. A beam of sunshine. She's loyal. She's practical. She's faithful. She's strong. She can lift more over her head than I can.
Marty, to me, if he's now 44, I would say he looks 20. He feels 20, but he acts 4. So that equals 44. So to me, that would be Marty. Like, he's a school teacher in grade 6, and like if you ever get an experience watching him teach, he's literally like another child in the classroom with them. Very funny and like kiddish, but at the same time he has this opposite side of him that's very sincere and very humble.
Yeah, I just love hanging around with that girl. She's so much fun. She's very patient. She's She's kind, she's considerate, she's generous. She's super generous with her time, with her money, with everything she has. These are the reasons why I fell in love with her, and I am in love with her. And she's, you know, she also loves God with all her heart. Those are all things that I wanted. More than the things I wanted. You know, she's an amazing girl. She's my best friend.
He would be a beluga whale. I'm not sure why. For some reason, I've always called him a baby beluga. I think it has to have, there's like a song about belugas. I think belugas are just the cutest animal. They're bald, and he's bald, and so it's kind of the same shape.
Well, I know she wants me to say she'd be a manatee, because that's just what she loves. But I think, well, she could be a sloth too, but she doesn't move as slow as they do. But she just loves them, and they're so cute. So that's what she loves, but what would she be? I would say she would be like a monkey, because of the way I see her doing certain exercises at the gym, where she's like bouncing up and down, and she's got this upper arm strength that just like, I'd say monkey is the best description. And also sometimes she likes to, like if I'm talking, because I do a lot, she wants to get away from me, she kind of turns sideways, and she kind of like goes away like this, and she's sort of, I don't know if it's a tiptoe, but it's something. It's a monkey thing to do, I think.
My ultimate day would be more of a morning thing. It would be riding my bike from wherever we're living to the farmer's market, getting some groceries, getting breakfast or brunch, and like getting some good coffee, and then biking around.
Yeah, I like an evening thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a live show, but I like to have a night with her. Actually, I like it when we stay at home and make a meal and hang out together and watch a movie. I think that's my favorite. That's my ideal.
4 dogs, 8 cats.
8 cats?
8 cats?
8 cats.
I don't know. He really wants 3 kids.
3.
I would say I would cap it at 2 kids, because realistically, if you get to 3, you need to buy a new vehicle. You can't drive the ones we currently have. You can't just have an SUV, because like if they want to bring a friend home, you don't have the capacity to do it anymore. So 2 kids, so that you can allow for a friend. But I think I put in a rule that
2 kids
if he wants 3 kids, we would have to have a dog between. We'd have to have a dog between the 2nd kid and the 3rd day. I knew you were the one when I was so emotionally impacted by the decision that I would have to uproot you out of your city, out of your friends and your family and your lifestyle to come to Edmonton and Leduc.
I knew I was in love with her in the middle of February, and I knew I was ready to be committed to it long term. So I guess I could skip back to that. That's when the gears started turning, and the words of, well, we have to think about moving to a different city. I knew that it was an investment that was worth making. I think it was more of a choice. This is going to be the one, because of what I know about her, what I see as our potential as a couple, what I know what we'll be able to do together in terms of just life, not just for each other, but for the people that are around us, with our church community, you know, walking as 2 people who love God and make an impact in this world from that platform. I knew she was the one to journey with me in that. Does that make sense?
Totally.
The best possible partner I could find to live this life with.
I think for me it's realizing that no matter what, there's going to be torments and troubles and joy and happiness down the road, and it's just kind of every single issue or positive thing that we come along, it's to see how we journey to it together. And I think it's more just, it's neat of the fact that it's like you can spend an entire year adventuring, but to be able to actually spend more than a year with someone else and to share all those memories with alongside of you is what I'm most excited about, and that's what I'm most hopeful about.
I think marriage is an extension of what we already have, which includes building each other up. I mean, enjoying each other's company, building each other up in faith, walking with each other through tough times, enjoying the highs, not being afraid to go through the lows, but recognizing them and learning more about ourselves through the process. And it's awesome, the ways that I think we sharpen each other, and my faith in a relationship being able to survive in the type of culture that we have in this world today has increased, and I think it's my favorite thing about marriage is it's a covenant in front of everybody, in front of God, saying we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. We're committed to this no matter what happens. I'm just really excited about where that is going to lead for the two of us. Yeah. Not just the two of us, but also the impact
And the dogs that they get.
of all the dogs and the whole animal kingdom.
And the 2 kids in front.
And the sloths and the manatee and the belugas. 2 kids and a friend.
That second glass of wine, that did it. And there was something about that kiss, girl, it did me in. Got me thinking, I'm thinking all of the things that I've been feeling. In case you didn't know, maybe I'm crazy about you, and I would be lying if I said that I could live this life without you, even though I don't tell you all the time. You had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know, I belong to you. Yeah, you're my everything. In case you didn't know, I'm crazy about you, and I would be lying if I said that I could live this life without you, even though I don't tell you all the time. You had my heart a long, long time ago. Yeah, you had my heart a long, long time ago. In case you didn't know,